Hello, we have recently opened Ragdoll Survival for public map submissions, including Robux compensation. All details can be found in the forum thread linked in the description below. Now, here we are trying to make a map. The map size should be 650 to 650 studs, ideally with invisible walls surrounding it, have some kind of terrain and destructible objects. It is probably for the best if you simply grab the map template model, also linked in the description below this video, and use that. It has a base plate of the appropriate size and invisible walls already included. There are 3 other things in the template model as well. A basic player spawn, several should be spread around the map in different locations so players don't get spawn killed. A ball spawn, which determines where the ball initially appears, there should be only one per map understandably, and these 3 circular pads. Ragdoll Survival currently has 3 game modes and each map is used for a single game mode only. Capture maps should have these pads spread around the map, ball fight maps are generally more open, and survival maps have more destructible objects. More than usual, that is. All maps need Destructibles. It adds to the gameplay, removes potential cover as the round progresses and makes things look chaotic and exciting. We wanted that. However, since some people were not sure how to make these, I'll try to walk you through it in this video. If you have some basic Roblox Studio knowledge, you should be aware how anchoring parts or models works. Anchored objects are not affected by game physics like gravity, part velocity, force generated from explosions and similar. Unanchored objects will fall down when left in the air and can be blown away with weapons and tools. In our case, various ball abilities. So far, this should be pretty straightforward. People can encounter problems when they decide to make more complex destructible objects. Suppose we would want to make a shed of some description. It has walls, some other bits, a small fence, I don't know, and a roof. The problem is that if we do not anchor the unsupported parts, the shed falls apart. I guess you could fix the roof like so, but what if we want our beautiful fence to have this part on the side instead on the top? That's not to mention people can simply break this down if they just walk into it. We need to use joins. Not that kind of joins, part joins. Advanced builders would be aware that constraints are now the more sophisticated way to do this, but since this is a video for beginners and using joins is much faster and simpler, we'll stick with them. Most joins are automatically generated when 2 part surfaces touch. Here is a table that might seem complicated at first. Basically, red does not join, anything with rotate we probably don't need, and glue is weird. Look back at our shed. Does it look like it needs some fancy glue whatnots or rotating parts? Rotating parts can be fun, but no, it does not need that. We'll make do with snap and weld, which do essentially the same. Hold parts firmly together until the joints are broken. Snap goes back to Roblox's Lego-inspired origins. Imagine 2 parts. Studs on top, inlets on bottom. We can't join them if we press 2 stud or inlet surfaces together. However, if we combine a stud and an inlet surface, they can be connected, holding firmly together. Roblox does exactly the same. If you put together stud and inlet surfaces, the game will create joins for those parts. Universal is a combination of studs and inlets on one surface, meaning they snap with studs, inlets and other universal surfaces. Weld does basically the same, but it joins together with everything. Weld, smooth, inlet, glue. If it's a surface, weld surfaces will join. The difference is basically just aesthetical. We like using different surfaces for different types of objects, so they are a little bit more visually interesting. Say you would not want these ugly crosses on your clean part surfaces, like our fence bit here. What can you do? Manual weld. Well, that or constraints, but we are assuming we are beginners here. Manual weld will do. Manual weld can join smooth parts together, and inlets, not studs for some reason. To make this happen, all we need to do is set the join setting in Studio to always. It's on surface only by default. Then we simply move our parts together and there we go. That should do it. Seems like we are done, or almost. The shed and fence hold together, but are not exactly fixed to the ground. Most parts would be, that's why basic bricks have studs on top and inlets bottom, but I began building with completely smooth bricks. Smooth and studs do not join. But with everything we know after this video, this should be an easy fix. Change the bottom smooth surfaces to inlets, weld, or use a different join setting. Finally, it looks like our shed is fully operational and ready to be destroyed without mercy. That concludes this video and hopefully clears up some things about destructible objects, so you'll have an easier time now. Good luck with building and destroying your buildings.